This image could finally solve one of the biggest mysteries in American history. What happened to Amelia Earhart? Earhart was a true pioneer. By 25, she had flown higher than any woman ever. More records followed. First woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. First woman to fly solo across the Pacific.
Well, it was very interesting to me to fly in southern waters rather than in the north.
The disappearance of Amelia Earhart and her navigator Fred Noonan on July 2nd, 1937 has captivated the world for nearly 9 decades. Their vanishing while attempting to circumnavigate the globe represents one of aviation's greatest unsolved mysteries. Yet recent breakthroughs in radio analysis and satellite imagery have brought investigators tantalizingly close to solving this enduring puzzle. Advanced research into the exact radio equipment used aboard Earhart's Lockheed Electra has enabled scientists to pinpoint her final known location with unprecedented precision. The radio breakthrough that changed everything. The key to unlocking Earhart's disappearance emerged from an unlikely source, a painstaking restoration project undertaken by deep-sea exploration company Nauticos. In 2020, the team acquired and meticulously rebuilt the exact radio equipment that Earhart and Noonan carried aboard their final flight, a Western Electric 13C aircraft transmitter and Bendix model RA-1A receiver. This wasn't merely an academic exercise, it represented the foundation for understanding precisely where Earhart's aircraft was during her last communications. The restored radio system proved invaluable for recreating the exact circumstances of July 2, 1937. Through extensive testing and analysis, researchers discovered crucial details about the aircraft's radio capabilities and limitations that previous investigations had overlooked. The Western Electric 13C transmitted on 3 crystal-controlled channels, 500, 3105, and 6210 kHz, with a 50-watt output capable of both voice and continuous wave transmissions. But damage to the aircraft's antenna system during a March 1937 ground loop accident at Luke Field significantly reduced the radiated power on higher frequencies, dropping it to approximately half a watt on 3105 kHz. Dave Jordan, president of Nauticos, described the significance of their findings. Quote, "Our latest radio communication analysis is a major leap forward in solving one of the most enduring mysteries in aviation history. We have narrowed the search area dramatically, and this new expedition presents our best chance yet to finally locate Amelia Earhart's plane." The restoration work enabled researchers to determine Earhart's approximate position at 8 a.m. on the day she disappeared, significantly refining the search area near Howland Island in the Pacific Ocean. The radio analysis revealed crucial information about Earhart's final hours. Her last confirmed transmission to the Coast Guard cutter Itasca came at 8:43 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, when she reported circling but being unable to locate Howland Island with dangerously low fuel supplies. The restored equipment helped researchers understand why communication failed between the aircraft and rescue vessels, primarily due to frequency mismatches and antenna limitations that prevented effective direction finding. Multiple paths converging on the same conclusion. While Nauticos focused on radio analysis to narrow their search near Howland Island, another major expedition prepared to investigate compelling satellite evidence at Nikumaroro Island. The Purdue Research Foundation, partnering with the Archaeological Legacy Institute, announced plans for a November 2025 expedition to examine what they called the Taraya object, a visual anomaly visible in satellite imagery within the island's lagoon. The Taraya object first became clearly visible in satellite images captured after a tropical cyclone Pam swept through the area in March 2015. This powerful storm, one of the most destructive ever recorded in the South Pacific, generated severe storm surge that apparently removed sediment covering the mysterious object. Richard Pettigrew, executive director of the Archaeological Legacy Institute, stated that the storm surge approached the island from the west and rushed into the lagoon with immense force. Instead of burying the object under sediment, the surge swept the sediment away, rendering the object visible from above. The object's location holds particular significance within the broader context of Nikumaroro evidence. Positioned directly east of the Tataman Passage connecting the lagoon to the open ocean, the anomaly sits in an area where multiple lines of evidence have suggested Earhart's presence. Historical analysis revealed the object has remained in the same location since at least 1938, just months after Earhart's disappearance. Stephen Schultz, senior vice president and general counsel of Purdue University, emphasized the expedition's importance. Quote, "Based on the evidence, we agree with ALI that this expedition offers the best chance to not only solve perhaps the greatest mystery of the 20th century, but also to fulfill Amelia's wishes and bring the Electra home." Earhart had worked at Purdue University and intended to return her aircraft there for scientific research after completing her world flight. The mounting evidence at Nikumaroro. The case for Nikumaroro as Earhart's final resting place extends far beyond satellite imagery. Over nearly 4 decades, researchers have assembled what they describe as a vast amount of circumstantial evidence, supporting the theory that Earhart and Noonan landed on the uninhabited island and ultimately perished there as castaways. Radio bearings recorded at the time of Earhart's disappearance provide some of the most compelling evidence. Transmissions from the U.S. Navy, U.S. Coast Guard, and Pan American World Airways all converge on Nikumaroro's location. These weren't random signals. Professional radio operators at multiple stations, including operators at Nauru Island, reported receiving transmissions on Earhart's known frequencies in the days following her disappearance. The most intriguing radio evidence came from Nauru Island, where an operator reported hearing voice transmissions on 6210 kHz at 3 specific times on July 2nd, describing them as similar to voices heard from Earhart's plane the previous night, but without engine noise in the background. This detail suggested the aircraft was no longer airborne, consistent with a crash landing scenario. Physical evidence discovered at Nikumaroro has steadily accumulated over the decades. Artifacts recovered from the island include a woman's shoe from the 1930s, a compact case, freckle cream jar, and medicine vial, all items that could have belonged to Earhart. Perhaps most significantly, human bones discovered on the island in 1940 have undergone modern forensic reanalysis with startling results. The forensic revolution in bone analysis. The bones found on Nikumaroro in 1940 by British Colonel Officer Gerald Gallagher were initially dismissed as male remains by Dr. D.W. Hoodless, principal of the Central Medical School in Fiji. However, this assessment was made using 1940s forensic methods that have since been superseded by far more sophisticated techniques. In 2018, Dr. Richard Jantz from the University of Tennessee conducted a revolutionary reanalysis using modern forensic anthropology software called Fordisk. Working with limited metric data, 4 skull measurements and 3 long bone measurements that survived in historical records, Jantz compared the Nikumaroro bones to estimates of Earhart's bone structure derived from photographs, clothing measurements, and official documents. The results proved extraordinary. Jantz's analysis revealed that Earhart's estimated bone structure matched the Nikumaroro remains better than 99% of individuals in a large reference sample. The statistical comparison strongly supported the conclusion that the bones belonged to Earhart herself. This forensic analysis also revealed the remains belonged to a taller-than-average woman of European descent, matching Earhart's physical characteristics. Photographic evidence. Adding another layer is what researchers call the Bevington object, a tiny anomaly captured in a photograph taken just 3 months after Earhart's disappearance. In October 1937, British colonial officer Eric Bevington visited Nikumaroro as part of an expedition to assess the island's suitability for settlement. Among his 253 photographs was one image containing what appears to be aircraft debris on the reef. The object measures no longer than a grain of sand in the original print, yet detailed analysis by photo experts suggests it shows components consistent with a Lockheed Electra landing gear assembly. Jeff Glickman, a photo analyst who discovered the anomaly, was able to determine its precise location by triangulating features visible in both the 1937 photograph and modern satellite images. The statistical analysis proved remarkable. Photo analysts identified specific components that matched the size, shape, and configuration of Electra landing gear parts. The probability of an unknown object randomly possessing all the quantifiable characteristics present in the image was described as vanishingly small. The November 2025 expedition. The upcoming Purdue-sponsored expedition represents what researchers call their best opportunity to definitively resolve the Earhart mystery. Scheduled to depart from Majuro in the Marshall Islands on November 5th, the 5-day mission to Nikumaroro will focus specifically on investigating the Taraya object. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you think this expedition will reveal what happened to Amelia Earhart? Let us know in the comments section below.